Hello, everyone, and welcome back to It's Not That Deep, the podcast where we dive into all sorts of drama, be it internet, celebrity, or reality TV gossip, and discuss whether or not it's that deep.
I heard, Sasha, that you have like a It's Not That Kind of Deep story.
Are you ready for this? This is ridiculous. So this is coming from a group of grown adult women. They've decided that after begging me to do a video for them, let's be realistic, because they love to snark on the people they love to snark on. This is a Reddit group, basically. I released my video on members only tonight, and I'm getting flack for that. It's going public tomorrow morning. It's literally just 12 hours early for my members because my members pay a monthly membership to get, express delivery, as I like to say it, as of tonight. Your argument doesn't make sense. Someone literally said, oh, and when do all us non-paying peasants get access to the video?
Oh my gosh.
And it's like, excuse you. And basically they're butthurt because I'm using their receipts and putting it behind a paywall, which I'm not putting it behind a paywall. I'm just giving a perk to the people who pay for the perk.
Yeah.
And then it's going public?
That's what a ton of YouTubers do. There's so many YouTubers who do that now, who that's part of it. It's like the first thing, like the first tier is usually like early access to the video. Plus, receipts are not yours to have. It was something put on the internet. Anyone could have screenshot that. So it's not their possession. It's not in their possession.
And then they're also upset because in my Facebook post announcing it today, basically someone reached out to me saying that I needed to do a video, an update video. And I was like, okay, and can you help me gather receipts? Because I'm not in the community anymore because you guys kicked me out 6 months ago. Like, did we all forget about this? Because I didn't.
It's crazy that they did that in the first place.
So for something I didn't even do.
Yeah.
But okay. Cool. So I asked, I was like, can you help me get receipts together? And this person got over 200 receipts put together in a file for me, uploaded so that it was easy for me. Well, it wasn't easy. It took me so long to go through all these receipts, read them all, label them all, figure out what fit in the video, what didn't fit in the video. I understand that gathering the receipts, it's time out of your day and stuff, but I still had to read all of them. I still spent like 8 times as much time as it took you to gather those receipts. Anyways, I gave that person a shout out for helping me put all those receipts in one place, and they got mad about that. But then have the audacity to be like, oh, well, I don't think she should take 100% credit. I'm like,
you didn't.
I literally gave a shout out, and you guys are angry at me for giving a shout out the wrong way, apparently.
I read in your community post, even, you said thank you to those who helped. I could have never done this all by myself. I literally just read that today. I was on my thing. I saw that.
I definitely couldn't have done it myself. And they all interpreted it as I was saying that she collected all the receipts from the beginning. I'm like, no. And I've literally never said that. In every single video, I always shout out the Reddit subs or the Facebook pages or whatever. And I always have since the beginning. So for them to come here and be like, oh, she takes 100% credit for so-and-so's hard work. No, I don't. What are you talking about?
It's not that deep.
It's literally, thank you. It's literally not that deep. It's not that deep. And they're making it so deep. If I took all of these 200 receipts and made the video members only, I would understand being upset about that. Because that's gross. I basically used all of their screenshots, all of their content.
Right.
And made a video about it. And to put that behind a paywall, I understand because it is important information.
But at the same time, I mean, Reddit is a free site open to anyone, and you're allowed to upload whatever you want, and there's no rules that you can't take it, I don't think, right? Like,
yeah, but I guess this is from Discord now. But it's also on Reddit, half of it.
Isn't Discord also free?
No, because they have a closed community.
Oh.
You have to be invited. And if you get kicked out, because... I don't know. No reason.
Still, I feel like you shouted them out. I don't know what more you could do.
So after my inside sources, because I still have a couple people who really have my back and actually appreciate the work that, I do. After this person sent me the screenshots of what was going on in Discord, I went in and I changed my Facebook post because I'm a petty bitch. And I said, to the entire village in giant caps instead of to the person.
Oh, it takes a village, I guess.
It takes a village, and that's what they're all saying. So that's like direct quotes from the Discord. And that's thank you.
Reddit can get icky sometimes, I feel like.
Oh my gosh. And the ringleader of all of this, who basically created the entire community, who was super, I have your back, I always have your back, I always have your back, who I haven't heard from in months, right? She commented on someone else's like sharing of my post that, oh, it takes a village, like it wasn't one person, saying it was one person is blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you don't even have the balls to come to me and say, hey, like, by the way, it was all of us, not one person.
Right. I think that you are a very, in the time that I've known you, a very respectful person. And like, if I go to something with you and I'm like, hey, here's how I'm feeling with this, you're like, totally, I get it. And like, you're super nice about it. I think they would have gotten a lot further with you if they'd been like, hey, Sasha, look, we love what you're doing, but we just want a little bit more credit. You've been like, oh, I didn't even realize I wasn't doing that. I'm so sorry. Like that's all they had to do.
No, exactly. You guys getting so hung up on these little minute things. It's just, again, it's not that deep. And even the credit stuff, like I have consistently given credit where credit's due. I put the Reddit pages and the Facebook. I can't shout out your Discord. It's private and you blocked me from it.
Yeah.
How do you want me to shout out a community that I'm not a part of?
What are they saying? Like, what do they want?
I don't know. And yet they're sitting here saying I'm taking 100% of the credit when literally in my post is a shout out.
So basically, they're just complaining to complain. Like if you are actually mad about something or upset, you need to voice what you want. Voice how you're feeling. Don't just be like, I'm mad. Well, okay, tell us why and tell us how to fix it.
And also being mean girls and talking behind people's backs, thinking that, you know, you're just going to create this bandwagon and that person's not going to find out. Like, that's not the way to get what you want. Because you know what? I'm never doing another video on this creator again, unless she does something crazy, which I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm not doing any more updates on this person because I'm not giving these people any more content. And even this one, it wasn't for them. It was because like, wow, she is unhinged and needed a call out and like she needs to be reeled back down to earth, you know, so this video is important and I stand by doing it. But going forward, like, no. And I had interviews set up for people like on the inner circle and stuff, and I'm going to cancel them because no, I'm not doing it. Okay. You're going to act like this. You're going to throw me under the bus for no reason. Like, okay.
The reason like we do the types of channels that we do and the way that we have it set up, and we've talked a lot about this, you know, me and you personally. Yeah. Like there's two routes you can go where you can go and like make sure everything's accurate and have, you know, a reason for making the video because there's concern or whatever. Or you could go like the really drama route where you're maybe being more harsh or
snarky.
We're not looking to create drama, especially out of nothing.
No.
And of course, you're not going to keep doing this stuff because if it's going to create drama in your own life, like, that's not what you signed up for.
Well, and that's just it. And like this creator is not good for anyone's mental health. Like I don't understand how she has a following, but just watching behaviors over time and picking apart her behavior, and it drives you insane. Like she enrages me because she's awful. And now to know that the community who's supposed to have my back, doing this for them, streamlining their content, putting it in a place, commenting on it, highlighting it, to know that they're talking behind my back and bitching about, like, it's literally bitch eating cracker syndrome. Yeah. And I haven't done anything.
Yeah, my thing is, like, I don't have the time to pick apart every little thing about everyone's life and, like, every influencer or creator. And that is something I do see on Reddit, not with all of the people on there. But my thing is, like, I'm in this, I don't know, category of YouTube because I think needs to be more people stepping up for the bigger picture, not the tiny thing, not like where they're nitpicking or something that doesn't actually matter at all.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, 100%. I just think that's
100%.
kind of a waste of time.
I agree. And that's not why I set out to start my channel originally, my personal channel. And even like this channel, this is just a discussion about stuff that could be harmful, stuff that people are talking about and discussing, like, does this person deserve the amount of hate that they deserve, which ties into exactly what you just said, right? Is this valid criticism? Because there's not enough people holding influencers and public figures accountable for their actions, and they just get away with everything. And it's disgusting. This woman that I'm covering tomorrow broke the law. Multiple laws in her state. And it's like she's publicizing it, and she's getting away with it. So you're like, even your person that I commented on your community, the horse girl, the OnlyFans person, that has to be against the law, and you're publicizing it.
And making money off of it. A lot of money, likely.
Yeah.
That one was... Sometimes my algorithm is a little, like, it'll show me something really wild, and I'm like, okay, I'll post about it, but I don't want to see any more of this. This is really...
But not interested, please. Like,
please, I don't want to see that. It was... I don't know how to go there. Basically, it was a girl who promotes her OnlyFans with her horse.
Yeah, that's enough. That's good.
It's all you need to know.
That's it.
It's a real thing.
Fill in the blanks. You can fill in the blanks easily.
Yeah, but no, we do see that a lot, I feel like, where influencers almost are above the law or something, and they get probably a high off of it because they can make content, for one thing, content that they know is going to get more clicks. And then they get away with it. And sometimes it's not even breaking the law. Sometimes it's just being a really shitty person and saying a really shitty thing. Like we were just talking right before we started filming this about that Avery Woods. Like, she said a lot of really crappy things. She's back. She has a new podcast episode up. Yeah, that's for a second. But she's not fully going to get anything. And it's like, she made a lot of people really mad, and for good reason. Like, what she said was really vile on top of a lot of other things that she said and what she was joking about. Like, but yet she gets away with it. And we see that all the time with influencers.
Yes, we do. And that actually segues really nice into our first topic, because we're going to be talking about Anna Paul. Have you heard anything about the Anna Paul drama?
No.
She's actually, she's an influencer, and she's being held accountable a little bit. Apparently, she's lost over 1 million subscribers since this whole thing broke, which is huge. And I believe it's TikTok. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, she suffered a pretty massive cancellation and continues to lose subscribers, I think, after the drama broke. Basically, what Anna is known for is being a body positive influencer, someone who's a girl's girl, and apparently... That annoys me.
I don't know about you, but that whole girl's girl. It's like, can we just be human? Like, can we just be nice to each other, whether you're nice to a girl, a man? Like, let's just all be...
Can we all just, like...
Treat each other with respect.
Can we all just live, please?
Yeah.
I know. And then the whole bullying versus accountability stuff, it's just...
Yeah.
Oh, it's so aggravating. And then if you're holding someone accountable, you're not a girl's girl, and you're like, well, no, I'm not going to, have someone's back who did a crappy thing and hurt a bunch of people.
Just because they're a woman.
Just because they're a woman. How is that okay? What happened with Anna is her brother's ex-girlfriend came out with a video basically exposing Anna for being a terrible person behind the scenes and protecting her brother, who apparently is a predator. He assaulted Michaela, the girl who came out against the Pauls and stuff like that. This is Michaela Testa speaking out against Anna, and this is kind of the drama that really blew the facade of Anna wide open, because like I said, she was known as a positive influencer, lighthearted, always happy and supportive and uplifting, body positivity, whole 9 yards.
There's a lot of things wrong with Anna Paul. It's way easier to hate me for calling her out when she's wrong than accepting that the Anna you guys love and idolize so much never existed. You don't know her. You don't know her like I know her. You have never met her, and if you have, it's nothing more than a 5-second selfie. These people that watch her don't know the Anna that I know. They know the other Anna, the one she wears when the camera starts rolling. I can't blame the parasocials, because I too would do the same for someone that I looked up to. But my experience with Anna was a lot different to all of you. Mine was a real experience. Everything Anna does is calculated, but she masks the manipulation extremely well with an innocent sweet girl facade, posting all of these videos about self-love and body positivity. Anna, remember that god-awful trend of people posting photos of influencers that they would and wouldn't feel comfortable wearing a bikini around? Remember those slideshows people would make with everyone in the family, of all of you being labeled as safe and my photo was at the end marked as I would never feel safe in a bikini around Michaela? Meanwhile, right before these videos were trending in 2021 on the South Bank Bridge, when you were peak body positivity, love yourself version of Anna, a plus-size fan came up to you and asked for a hug and a picture. You smiled at her. You told her that you loved her. She told you how your words online have helped her be more comfortable in her body. The moment she walked away, you told Addis that she was annoying and gross and you didn't want to agree to the hug because she was fat and sweaty. Addis laughed. These were your words, Anna. I heard them. Things like this were a common occurrence. Seeing your fakeness in the flesh was such a disturbing experience. Your fans mean nothing to you, just like the animals you buy and palm off to others.
So there's a lot there.
Yeah.
Basically, people are very, very upset with the comments she made about her fan. And then others have also come forward and said, well, I'm a plus size girl, so now I'm questioning my experience with Anna because when I met her, it was great. She was super kind to me and was the friendly, nice girl facade that she puts on online. But now I'm questioning if when I walked away, she made fun of my body or made fun of me at all.
Which is sad to have to think that, especially if you're like meeting someone that you're really excited and you've like looked up to, or maybe who felt like, I don't know, you could relate to, and then have that kind of just all ripped away or questioned.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's a big reason why she lost so much support, over 1 million subscribers at this point, or followers, whatever, because how can you ever trust anything? Her whole brand, her whole persona is ruined now.
The whole like fakeness with the influencers, people are kind of done with it. They want the real stuff. Remember that trend that was very recent because TikTok was ending, like, I'm going to tell you the truth.
Yeah, the confessions.
They were like, oh, we thought you all knew. And it's like, no, because we trusted you that what you were putting out was real. And I think the best thing that someone can do who's in the influencing space is just be themselves, because if you're not, eventually it's going to catch up with you.
It is. And I feel as though if you want to be online, there's an audience for everyone. I mean, look,
Yes.
Ash Trevino has a dedicated following. So if she can do it,
If she can do it, anybody
it.
can.
But honestly, like, you will find your crew, but going on and being deceptive, especially in this kind of way that can really mess with people's mental health and well-being, like, that's not okay.
No, it's not.
One of the influencer confessions that the girl got a lot of heat for that I thought was not that deep was the ice one. Did you hear about that one?
I don't think so.
So this girl made specialty ice cubes, and it was different flavors and different shapes and different stuff. And people were devastated because she said she didn't eat the ice because she doesn't like ice in her drinks. But it never went to waste. She'd give it to her mom, or she'd have it at baby showers or wedding showers in the punch bowl or whatever. So it never went to waste. And I'm like, guys, that was her job. It was her content.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean you need 18 different ice cube trays, but she did because it was her job. It's like a baker who has 3 different spatulas.
Right.
It's no different.
Part of being an influencer is like having, instead of just maybe one concealer, they're going to have 15 concealers. It's not what the average person is. It's because they're influencing you and they're working with the brands and trying to get the commission links. So, yeah, testing it. That's not that deep. Ice cubes should never be deep.
And it was her job. Like, it's fine, guys. Everything's fine. You will be okay.
Watching you be praised online for being kind and caring, but behind the facade lived an evil person. All while I'm receiving hate because I didn't create content like you. Everything people accuse me of being is exactly who you are. That was just the beginning of the pot that started boiling within me. Anna's performative generosity, like hiding money in cities or dishing out giveaways behind a paywall, reek of superiority. Watching her fans scramble over scraps, fighting each other because they need these funds while she films it, flaunts her designer labels, endless holidays, and material excess. This is dystopian and out of touch. Anna is preying on the vulnerability and desperation of impressionable young fans for her profit under the disguise of self-love, empowerment, and giving back. Anna may give back to the odd few people who she can post on her Instagram story for more promotion, but everyone else falls short. Anna, if you truly wanted to give back to your fans, you would use a free platform such as your giant Instagram page with over 2.4 million followers. Or, if you truly wanted to give back to your OF subscribers, you would do it privately within that platform. By posting IG stories advertising that you're sending money to subscribers, you are directly trying to lure new customers over to your page, a page which costs $16 to access. This $16 is essentially a lottery ticket. With the 7-hour difference in time steps between posting your initial promo story on Instagram to actually sending money, it's clear that in that time you allowed the subs to reel in, as this was just a plot for profit rather than a give-back situation as you disguise it as. Then posting further stories of screenshots sending few people $500 saying you know where to find me, incentivizing more to subscribe and fall for this in hopes to win. The whole premise...
So that also had a lot of people upset because essentially what she was doing was running an illegal lottery by posting on her Instagram story, if you join my OF, or everyone who joins my OF will be entered in a draw to win anywhere from $10 to $1,000.
Is that illegal though? Or like, isn't that just like, I don't know. I feel like I've seen people do that. Maybe not the OnlyFans, but like to encourage people to join an app or whatever to like have giveaways and stuff.
So it's definitely, it depends on where you are and what the lottery laws are, but buying anything in exchange for potentially winning money is technically considered a lottery.
I wonder though if in the contracts, or not contracts, but like in the terms, if like the lottery was in the terms, or if in the terms that they signed was just that they were going to get the OnlyFans content. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't even know, because I think that it was just like she posted to Instagram, you know, anyone who joins will be entered in for a draw or something like that. Her platform was mainly underage kids too, so that's really good.
Yeah, I just...
Really classy.
I have lots of opinions on that, but I'll just leave them to myself.
Of you luring your largely underage fan base to a website containing pornographic photos of you in the hopes of them winning your illegal lottery gambling scheme is so twisted and weird. If you charge an entry fee in order for somebody to win something, it's classed by law as a lottery in Australia. People that love Anna will come up with all sorts of attacks on me to try and defend her behavior, and that's okay with me. I don't blame them. People may start pointing at me because I'm on the platform too. While I understand, I also testify. Only 3.4% of my following on Instagram, where this is displayed, is under the age of 18. Anna's statistics would paint much different story. I also never incentivize people to subscribe in the hopes or chances that I'd see their message of despair and send them a lump sum of money, like Anna, targeting her young female audience such as young mothers and high school girls. Another attack that Anna fans will use on me to defend her bad behavior is that I'm obsessed with her family and that I'm not over Addis. They spread all sorts of rumors about what they think happened. This rumor really bothers me and is not true in the slightest. Constantly being tied to such a horrible person and have lies told constantly about how you feel about them is horrible. You have only seen what I've allowed you to see. Anything after my first initial few videos I made, the rest were jokes for views and engagement. I broke up with him. It was my choice to never reconnect again. There was no contact from me to him during that entire time, despite his countless attempts to reach out to me. It was exaggerated on my end for views because I know the content performed well. I have never spoken truth to the internet because it isn't pretty. Everything I say going forward is the truth and will hold up in a court of law. Addis Paul has physically abused me multiple times when I tried to leave him. He would hurt himself and threaten his life to scare me into not leaving after he would hurt me, come to manage me, but in reality, there was no managing, and I personally think it was financial abuse. After we broke up, he took jewelry from my room, hacked into my bets accounts, withdrew money, and then deleted the accounts, thinking I wouldn't notice. When I caught him, he sent it back and played a fool. Then crypto went missing from my accounts, which he set up for me. I accused him but had no proof as crypto was anonymous, so I legally had to backtrack while also being manipulated by him and Anna over the phone. I have sent him just about $1 million for numerous work or investments he's done for me and never saw anything from it. He is a cold-blooded scammer. He has not only scammed me but the public, and this started in him from a young age. There has been things he has been in trouble for in the past, but I cannot speak on them because he was underage. Then these crypto group controversies followed years later, which I had nothing to do with, and begged him to stop because it ruined my reputation online being affiliated with him. Addis was also accused publicly of rape by his ex-partner, to which I believed back then. I even messaged her that I did believe her. I believed her because her story was something that actually had been happening to me already. And when I confronted Addis and told him I believed her, a fight broke out and he would threaten his life. As a result of what was happening to me, I would get UTIs, and that in turn has permanently affected another internal body part. I'm undergoing surgery in February to correct my body as I have debilitating health issues as a result. When this happened, our relationship plummeted and I couldn't be the same.
I can't.
Yeah, I'm trying to even like think what that. I'm a little. I don't know. I can probably fill in the blanks, but it sounds horrible.
Awful. And like abuse messes with you and your brain, and it changes you long term. And now on top of that, she has long-term health issues that she needs surgery for. She needs to recover from that. Like,
And she'll be the one having to physically and financially pay for that, not him.
yeah, exactly. And that's I hope she does take him to court and sues the bejesus out of him for damages and that. And she said she sent him like $1 million.
Gosh.
That's wild. Over the course of their relationship or whatever.
It's great. They must be like massive influencers. I'm just completely out of the loop. Like, I have no idea who these people are.
I think they're pretty big. And they're pretty big on OnlyFans as well. That was all the important stuff that people are like, holy moly. But some criticism that Michaela has gotten since releasing this is like, okay, well, why now? Why here? Why now? Why are you bringing it up? Like, you were best friends with Anna, so were you okay with her being a mean girl at the time?
That was kind of like my thing. And, not to obviously like with the second part with what the boyfriend did, that's like up to the victim to come out whenever they're ready. So I feel like it's a separate thing. But with that part, before we got to that part when she was talking about like, whenever you went to go hug that girl and then afterwards, like if I was with someone, a friend, and they did that, like I would call them out. And if that pattern continued, I would not continue that friendship.
No, exactly. And it's like, why are people not calling them out? But then you also have to think about the nuance there with them all being influencers and OF creators and stuff like that. Like the public fallout that would come from calling someone out who clearly doesn't take any accountability ever.
I feel like even she wouldn't have had to like publicly call her out whenever it happened. She could have just been like, that was crappy.
No. I'm talking about Anna retaliating against Michaela. If Michaela was like, yo, why are you being mean or whatever? Like, if that's the type of person that she is behind the scenes, I feel like it would be scary to stand up to that person is, I guess, what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. I can see that. I think it's like it's more to like the individual. I just feel like I've always, and this is just like me, this isn't me trying to like give myself brownie points, but like I've been the person to like be at gatherings and I hear like someone's like talking about like someone that I know who's not there, and I will blurt out like, hey, like, no, and like everyone goes quiet and it's super awkward, but like I don't care because like I'm not going to partake in that sort of thing. But like I understand like that's something that comes with time, and it's not always easy, so I can understand that. Yeah,
exactly. And again, I think the power dynamic probably played a big part in it too. So the last thing I want to show you is Anna has actually responded. So I'm glad that we're covering this now because it took her a little while to respond. And it's like, that an influencer knows that they messed up when they have to take a couple days before they release their response video. So we'll see that. And spoiler alert, it's super gaslighty. So that's good.
No surprise.
Because people have found the receipts of the biggest things are like she lied about her upbringing and lied about being poor when she was growing up, and then also about her brother, and those allegations were huge as well, and then the mean girl allegations. So she kind of touches on those three things. She doesn't touch on the brother thing because why would you, right? The most critical thing to touch on. So this is just a little summary of Anna Paul is so fake and weird, and her Delulu fans eat it all up. How have they not seen past her manipulation? In every video, she puts on that fake, airy, happy-go-lucky voice, even though it's not how she used to talk. We all know this. She'll whine about something and then throw in a cringy 2012 Pinterest-esque quote to make it seem inspiring. Oh, that's good. The queen of passive-aggressive, offhanded comments. Another big one that people are concentrating on is she's constantly buying pets, neglecting them, and then handing them off to someone else, or they're never seen or heard from again. That's
So many influencers do this. They'll like introduce the pet as like a character on their social media, and then it's just gone all of a sudden. And then if anyone asks questions, it's none of your business. Like,
or you're blocked or whatever. Like,
it's like you're the one putting it out there, and the furry wouldn't even know you had a cat or a dog.
You made it my business. Exactly. She has no female friends at all. Big red flag. And she finds it funny that people think she's effing her little brother, and that people were concerned that she's dating the French guy when she was 19. Might be a reach. Plus, promoting her OF to her young audience seems to hint at something dark to me.
Yeah, anyone who goes and promotes their OnlyFans to minors is garbage in my book.
Well, especially because there's no excuse. You know what your analytics are.
Yeah.
Don't try me. You've seen them. You know what they are. You know what your audience is. There's no excuse to promote OnlyFans on content or around content that you know children are going to see.
Yep.
It's not okay.
Not okay.
Anyway, here's her lovely response.
If I made a video addressing every time anyone said anything bad about me, I would be posting all day long every single day, as would every other content creator. That's what the whole For You page would be filled with. But I think we can all agree that this has gotten a little bit big and a little bit much. So now here I am. And I'm never doing this again. I don't address stuff like this, but it has gotten very big. And the reason why I've taken so long to reply is not because I have a PR team and this and that and whatnot. I'm by myself. There's no one, there's no script, there's nothing. I'm just talking to the camera. The reason why I've taken...
Well, I think it's pretty obvious from this response that she absolutely has no PR team, just saying.
so long is because this all took me by surprise, and it was a very big shock to me because somebody that I thought was my friend and that I was close with really hurt me. And 2 months ago, she was asking me to go to Fiji with her on a girls' trip. And last year, when my dad was apparently homeless and that was going everywhere crazy on TikTok, she was the one helping me through it, sending me voice messages telling me, don't listen to the people online, they're dumb, everyone is stupid, tell Papa it's going to be okay, I hope Papa's okay, don't tell him not to listen. She was helping me. So now this has all come as a very, very big shock and surprise because I thought we were friends. But I'm going to address the things regarding me. So the first thing I want to address is that apparently in 2021, a fan came up to me and we hugged. And after she walked away, I said, oh my God, she was so fat and sweaty. Now, I do not call my fans fat. That is not who I am. That is not what I stand for. That's not what I've ever stood for. But you guys know me, surely. That is not what I stand for. Sweaty, however, I may have called her sweaty because when somebody is wet and they touch you and then they leave, and when you're with your best friend and you are now wet because of them, you may say, I am now wet. Again, this was 4 years ago. But
So, what do you think? What do you think of that justification?
Maybe I'm the odd one out, but like knowing nothing, I don't even know I've never seen her before or the other girl. Take aside the brother stuff because that's a completely different thing. I think it's two separate things going on. So I'm just focusing on the two girls falling out. If it's true, and 2 months ago, she was texting her and giving her encouragement, what changed that all of a sudden, what are we missing there? And okay, I'll admit if someone, actually sweat really grosses me out. So like I would be the person to be like, oh, I'm sweaty. But like if she said it, like it's not being that mean if like she's like, oh, okay, like she was a little sweaty, like now I'm sweaty. Like that's so different than calling someone fat. It's like so I guess it's like what really happened, you know? But if it really was, if that's all it was like, she's like, hey, I gave her a hug. And then once the girl left, she's like, ooh, a little damp now. Or it's a little hot here today. I guess everyone's a little bit sweaty. That's not, to me, personally, mean.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't think, like, the sweaty part is necessarily that deep. I don't know. It depends on, like, context and stuff, because if this girl was put at, like, the blunt end of the joke, and it was kind of like not just like a, ooh, whatever sort of brush off comment.
Was it like, oh, she was disgusting and sweaty? Or was it just like, ooh, I'm a little wet? Like, it's too different. It's how it was, I guess. And, but again, I think the biggest piece that we're missing is what happened from 2 months ago to now. If they were BFFs
that's just
and
it.
hanging out and going on trips or planning on going on trips, what happened?
Yeah, exactly. And is that true that they were talking 2 months ago and that they were still super close 2 months ago?
She should have put up a screenshot, honestly, and like blurred out the phone number or whatever. If this is true, that would have really, I think, gave her a lot more credibility.
That's true. Where are the receipts? Mm-hmm. Where are the receipts?
In this day and age,
you need to bring the receipts.
You always need to bring the receipts. Always.
Pixar, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
That's been a thing for years now. Come on.
It was back whenever like Facebook first started, and if you were like dating someone, if it wasn't Facebook official, then it wasn't official. Do you remember that?
Yes. Yes.
And it's followed through all these years later. You need the receipts, you need the pictures, all the things.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the biggest thing is what happened and also why. Like, why did Michaela come out? What were her intentions in this? Was it just to be like, hey, this girl is super fake. Don't believe her. You know, it's BS. Or was it to promote herself, get more attention for herself, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's all rage bait and they're both playing us. But
Rage
I mean,
bait's in right now.
But Anna lost a lot of subscribers, so rage bait backfire.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I'm not one to like instantly take a side. Like I need to see the whole picture, and I'm not seeing enough here to go and like
on either side.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Well, and there's stuff that Anna says that's a lie. So basically when she gets in more to the financial stuff, you'll see. And that's coming up here.
But that may have happened. And I also know that people would have hugged me, walked away, and said, Anna Paul was sweaty. That does not make them a bad person. That's just them pointing out that after two people touch, they are now sweaty or wet. For example, actually, during meet and greets, I hug thousands of people. And my go-to thing when I meet a fan is I always go in for a hug. So I hug thousands of people, so my shoulders go into thousands of armpits. And afterwards, my shoulders smell like sweat. And if I'm like, hey, does anyone have a wet wipe? Both my shoulders really smell like sweat. That is just a human thing. And of course, you can twist it and make it sound bad in a video, but yeah. The second one is that I lie about growing up broke. Now, I do not lie about the fact that I grew up broke. When I say I grew up broke, that is my experience. That is how I felt. When I can hear my parents talking in the kitchen that the budget for the groceries that week is $30, it makes me feel broke. When we can't afford school uniforms, it makes me feel broke. When I'm 11, when I'm 10, and all my friends can afford something and my parents can't, it makes me feel broke. When they say, oh, I don't know how we're going to afford rent next week, that makes me scared and makes me feel broke. That does not mean that I was the most broke person on earth. There are definitely people in way worse situations than me, but that does not mean that I'm lying about the fact that I felt broke during those times. And of course, because the internet is going crazy, they are pulling up photos of this was Anna's childhood home, showing photos that I grew up in when I was already an adult that I couldn't even imagine even going into when I was like 7 years old. Or this was Anna's first car, not my first car, not my childhood car. I didn't even have social media when I was like 7. Like it sort of didn't even exist back then. It was like 2006, 2007. Those photos wouldn't even be on the internet. But people, this is another one. I'm going to explain some photos on my Instagram. Because even though I have addressed these hundreds of times over the years, and they're also on there, you can see them all, they're all there. But I've addressed this a lot of times. I'm going to address one or two just to show you social media is fake. It is not real. Instagram, it's all fake, and it can be faked. So this is just a perfect example of.
That's what we were talking about earlier.
I love that. That's exactly what we were talking about. I forgot that she said that. I forgot that she was one of the ones that said that. So that's the thing. Like, you're openly admitting to faking everything while also trying to defend yourself. Like, you just called yourself a liar. So how am I supposed to sit here and believe that you didn't call that fan fat and sweaty and laugh at her?
That's true.
You know? And then even just like the feel broke. It's like, well, there's a big difference. And a lot of people have pulled up receipts and stuff and people who knew her in her childhood, and they weren't broke.
Yeah.
you know?
I guess, yeah, I mean, I guess it is, everyone's experience is different, but what, is she like labeling herself as like broke to riches or something like that? Like, is that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Then yeah, that's a different story. I don't like whenever people go and use it as a way to like build their brand, like create,
Yes.
embellish the story more so than what the reality was, just because they know that like that's more of a success story that's gonna like win people over more. Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not an expert in the Anna Paul lore, but I'm pretty sure that's what she did. And it was a lot of the, if I can do it, you can too. And that's not okay when you've actually come from a place of privilege.
Yeah.
Which she did. She didn't grow up poor. She might not have grown up in a mansion, but they didn't grow up poor. You know, it's definitely over embellished.
Well, and she's also, if that's the case, and she's trying to sell a success story to some, you know, vulnerable young person.
Exactly.
Statistically, OnlyFans, it's like 1% that actually makes that crazy amount of money, and the rest of them are making like nothing. Yeah,
exactly. And she even says, I don't know if she says it here, but she even says that like they used to wrap up their own Christmas present, like extra cans and extra bottles around the house and put them under the Christmas tree for Christmas presents. I'm pretty sure she says that coming up. And it's like, no, you didn't. To make it look like we had more Christmas presents. Okay, I believe that. I believe kids doing that, but I don't believe that you didn't have any presents.
Yeah.
You know?
No.
There's a photo of me sitting in first class when I was like 13 years old. Please don't quote me. Maybe I was 12, maybe I was 11, maybe I was 14. I don't know, but I'm just going to say 13. And I posted on Instagram. And people are saying, look, this is her in first class when she was 13. She's a liar. She was always rich. Now, what you don't know about that photo is that that was a flight that my uncle paid for. And it was an economy flight because my whole family lives in Germany and we were in Australia. So my uncle wanted my brother and I to go see our grandparents. So he bought us 2 economy tickets. And during the flight, my brother threw up all over me everywhere. Everything was wet and hot. Everything was dirty. So the flight attendants take care of unaccompanied minors. And they said to us, guys, come to the front of the plane while I clean this up. It's the last 20 minutes anyway. So for the last 20 minutes of the flight, we were sitting in first class. And of course, I posted on Instagram. I'm 12 and that's cool. And now people are using that like, liar. No, social media is fake. And it can all be explained. And I have before. Oh, another one is I'm wearing like a Gucci watch. My dad's job growing up was buying and selling antiques. So he would constantly go to garage sales and markets and stuff like that, and then sell them on eBay afterwards. So there's a photo of a watch that he bought at a garage sale for $2, and it's a Gucci watch. And I posted that in public, and I posted on Instagram. Of course, I'm posting that. That's cool and that's late, but that is not real. So you cannot determine things from photos. It is crazy, and that is just those are just a couple of examples. But yeah, me aside in this whole situation. Okay, me aside, the bullying that is bested and grown from this because it's a trend is dangerous and not okay. And bullying like this kills people. It kills people. You might think it's funny to set up your phone and think, oh, what's trending right now? I know. I'll say I met Anna Paul once and say something bad. That'll get views. Your views aren't worth someone's life, I'm telling you. Or setting up the camera and laughing with all your friends about what my body looks like and then posting it. That is not worth the views. Someone's life are not worth those views, I'm telling you. And another one that
she's pulling that too. Like, you can't hold me accountable because it's bullying, because, you know, and like, no, it's not okay to make fun of someone's body. It's not okay to do any of that stuff, the actual bullying. But what she's saying is that anyone who is speaking out against this, like, you can't speak out against me because I'm going to kill myself.
Right.
Like, no.
Well, it sounds like her and her brother are the same people.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it takes one to know one, I guess.
Right.
They were raised by the same people, so.
Makes sense.
I called pasta noodles or something like that. Like, insanity. I think we can all agree it's gotten very, very insane where it's just insane. Now, thankfully, I am fortunate enough to have a very strong support system and a very strong support system. See, I'm not editing this, so if I like mess up my words, I'm just leaving it in. But my DMs have kept me through this and kept me going. They're so incredibly sweet. But what I can't imagine is going through something like this alone. There are children that go through this kind of stuff, this kind of bullying alone. And for that, I cannot even imagine how they even survive that, to be honest. And because of that, I'm going to leave a number down below that if you're alone and you ever need someone to talk to or need something, please call that number and do not hesitate. Because it can happen to anyone. So I'm just sending my love out there to anyone that has gone through this or people that will go through this or parents of children who everything. Now, I am fortunate enough to have a team and like a support system of friends who have called me and stuff like that. But like I said, not everybody is. This is not behavior that we can encourage and engage in. If you feel the need to make a hateful negative video, lock your phone before you do that. I promise you someone's life is not worth the views. People die of this every day. And in saying that, I do not want a single nasty or mean comment in my defense. Even if it is pushing me up but being mean to someone else, you do not comment anything hateful or DM anybody anything hateful, even if it's in my defense. Please, that can kill someone. It's all internet fun until someone dies. I'm not joking. It is dangerous. So do not send any hate, not even on my behalf or anything. I do not stand behind your comment. And if you do that, I do not stand behind you, okay? That's so serious. It's people's lives. Anyways, this is not what my account's about, ever. I mind my business, I stay in my peace, I post my nice videos, and that's all I do, and that's all I will ever do, and that's all my account will ever be about. But it all got very big, so here I am. But yeah, I love you so much. Be nice, be kind, and if you feel the need to be mean, lock your phone and go outside. I promise you'll have a nicer day and feel nicer afterwards. So yeah, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for the nice messages. I've seen them all and they've kept me going, and let's just encourage kindness because the world needs more of it. It needs way more of it. So yeah.
Oh my God.
It can always be a positive, safe space. It always has
We
been
need to
and
I'm
always-
stop.
surprised she didn't say I love you again.
Right. I was going to say we need to stop. Well, influencers need to stop saying I love you to their followers because they don't
Yeah.
for one, and it's weird. It's creepy.
It's so weird. It's really creepy. It's really creepy. Yeah. So, there's definitely some missing pieces, but that's the basic of the Anna Paul lore. I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. Like, I get what she's trying to say, but to me, she was pushing it like a lot to the point where she was hyper focusing on the, hey, you know, this kills people and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, that feels to me like you're trying to skirt accountability and just nobody can say anything if it doesn't fit your narrative. And that's not okay.
No, my opinion is a little bit different. Again, we're putting the brother stuff to the side. It's like a completely different thing. But
Yeah.
if she's as mean as what that girl was saying, people tend to hang out with similar types of people.
Exactly.
And if they were
you
as-
were okay with it at one point in time.
If they were as buddy-buddy as what they apparently were, it tells me that that other girl might not be, you know, this completely innocent. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and maybe she is innocent, or maybe this Anna is just not even going to go and like open up any more can of worms because she just wants this all to go away.
Maybe.
I just think like, especially once you're out of high school, whenever you're hanging out with people and you have friendships, adult friendships, you hang out with who you relate to. Do you know what I mean? Because you're not with them in school anymore. It's like who you're really choosing to spend the time with.
Yeah.
So.
And why now? Why
Yeah.
all of a sudden? And what Anna touched on with her dad being homeless and Michaela being there for her, that definitely wasn't that deep. That was someone else who was interjecting their nose into something, and it was this he said hearsay crap, and basically started a rumor about her dad being homeless and working at DoorDash or something like that, and how it's not acceptable because Anna lives this big lavish lifestyle when it turns out that he chooses the van life for himself. Yeah.
People just run with stuff. So, I mean, the truth is somewhere probably in between. But
intertwined somewhere in something.
I think,
I don't know.
I think with what we've talked about, I don't have enough information to fully, I don't know. To me, I'm just like, it sounds like two girls that just really hate each other right now who were friends and now they're not. And it's like,
Yeah.
they're just publicly going at it online.
Which is not the way to go.
Not the way to go.
Not the way to go. Like, we need to get a diary or in real life friends.
Get together for some coffee and maybe like have a adult conversation.
Maybe?
Get down to the bottom of it.
Is that a thing anymore? I'm not so sure.
I'm not so sure. Not with the younger crowd.
I opened with the most ridiculous lack of have an adult conversation story possible. So
I think as people just a lot of times now with social media, whether you have a big following or no following at all, like even if it's just like, you see it in like neighborhood Facebook groups, right? Like people just saying, it's like, why don't just go to your neighbor? Why are you being so passive aggressive on Facebook about it? Like,
I know.
I
know.
I have a Facebook neighborhood group, so I I see the funniest things sometimes. But like, it's just so like funny. We've really with social media, we've kind of just like forgotten how to just be human and like go to the person. And it's like you're probably gonna get a lot further than just going.
And it doesn't even have to be like maybe they're going through something and you'll have a change of heart and want to help them or you learn something. Or there's no sense of neighbors anymore. And yeah, my mom's neighborhood group, I'm a part of that group, and oh my God, it's like small town,
yes,
but they're expanding. So there's new developments and like the beef between the OG small town people and the new like, oh my God, it's ridiculous.
People who are like
so funny
in their later 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, they get downright catty on Facebook. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that's the age group that's attacking me right now. So yes.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, they're like 40, 50-year-old women.
I don't know why I was expecting like 22-year-old girls who were like still in college going after you.
No, they're twice our age.
Okay.
Yeah.
That changes some things.
Yeah, I mean, not 40, but like,
Right,
yes.
yeah, no, I know what you
50,
mean.
60-year-old women. They're like my mom's age.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Okay.
I
Well,
can't.
Yeah. I guess this sort of, it's interesting because like, if you're good to segue into the next topic, it kind of is, it's again
100%.
with like, there's some of the body positivity. We're kind of like, it's flipping. It's kind of like the opposite of body positivity. And also is she a mean girl or is she just being real or a girl's girl? So,
Ew.
okay, so we're going to be talking about, first off, actually, the reason that I wanted to start this whole topic is because I noticed scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on TikTok, on social media recently, it's almost like, okay, they call it like skinny talk on TikTok, I think. And
Ew.
it's just like, it's the rise of like, the only thing that matters is being skinny, like not healthy, not nutrition, like not eating proper nutrition. It's just being skinny. There'll be like people who make TikToks being like, it does not matter what I wear because skinny is the accessory, or look at my birthday cake and it's a rice cake and they're putting candles on it because they're trying to get bikini body ready, all this different stuff. And it just like reminded me of the early 2000s culture, especially like in magazines in Hollywood where like, people would go after like Kate Winslet and Nicole Richie and they'd call them fat whenever they were like normal. Like if you were anything above a 0 or a 2, you were considered plus size. That was just like the way it was. And then I feel like in the late, like, 2009, 10, 11, 15, 16, 17, whatever, it was more like body positivity, like the bikini bodies are all bodies, like whatever. It was a much healthier place to be in because it wasn't making it all about just being a size 0. And now I feel like we're going back. And so I was going to talk about like all different, like react to different TikToks, but I want to talk specifically about a creator who was kicked off of TikTok because her stuff was considered to be pretty toxic. Her advice, what she was saying. And her name is Liv Schmidt. So
That is unheard of because TikTok is a toxic cesspool.
Right. So I just pulled a few of her clips to kind of give you an idea. And the kind of the discussion is going to be, is it that deep or not that deep? Like, is what she's putting out there harmful or helpful? And it's very split. She has a whole army of people who just absolutely love her. They say they've lost weight on her advice or whatever. But there's a lot more people, I would say, than not, who are being like, yeah, eating disorders or promoting eating disorders isn't cool. Like, can we stop? Like, this is clearly an ED. So I pulled up some clips. We can kind of just go through them. And this is just a few, kind of.
You're in a defect.
Like,
Not a deficit.
Right, let's
Not
learn
a deficit,
English.
You're in a defect.
she's not fueling her brain enough, so it's not working. Like, literally, we'll get to that in a minute. But, yeah, so I have my thoughts. What's your thoughts after that little clip?
Defective, I think.
Yeah, it's...
Oh my God, I wasn't expecting that. That was a good comedic relief. That was some of the most toxic bullshit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I know.
That's scary. How do you know how many followers she had
On TikTok?
before she lost TikTok?
And then on Instagram, she has a lot. She has a big, big reach. And so she's influencing a lot of people, specifically younger women.
That's so disturbing.
Yeah, teenagers.
Do you know how much she had on TikTok before it got shut down?
No, because I didn't know about her till after. Like, she's been deleted for a while, but a lot. I think millions.
Oh my God, that's so scary.
And what I want to say too about that, and we'll talk about it more, but going to bed, you don't have to go to bed hungry to lose weight. Like,
No.
We'll talk about it more. We can get into the next video.
But yeah, no, going to bed hungry, like that is scary advice.
It's very scary. And the thing is with Liv is that she lives that type of mindset every day, not just in a defect. She lives in a defect permanently, and she encourages that, to permanently live in a deficit, which you're not supposed to do at all. It's supposed to be, you're supposed to be in a deficit to lose weight for a short amount of time, and then you get out of that deficit. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of health problems.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This ties so much into the drama crew that I was talking about earlier, and like her whole like disordered eating stuff and Weight Watchers. She lost a ton of weight and yikes.
Yep.
Okay. You ready for this?
Yeah, I don't think we have to watch the whole entire thing, but you'll get the idea of where she's going with it.
Here, I'll speed it up to 1.2. That way I go,
You go out with a little bit of overweight people or overweight friends, totally fine. This isn't body shaming. This is just me being serious. If you go out with like overweight people, they typically will be the ones to be like, wait, why aren't you finishing your ice cream? Why aren't you this? Why aren't you that? They are more of the food pushers at the end of the day. That's just a known fact. Versus if you're with your leaner friends, I don't think one of them has ever said to me, oh my God, Liv, why are you ordering kids? Why are you ordering small? Why are you not?
It is annoying me. She's staring at herself in the viewfinder, and I can't stand influencers who can't look into the lens. It's not that hard.
It's not. She likes to look at herself.
When I'm like, look, the ice cream's not that good. I don't like it,
I mean, why live a defective life if you didn't want to look at yourself?
Well, that's just it. And we don't need to finish the rest of this video. What she was getting, the first bit is what I wanted to talk about, because it shows that she thinks very low of anyone that is not her size. I don't know about you, but I've never had that happen where someone's pushing me to eat a certain thing, whether they have more weight on them or not. I feel like she's making that up.
I feel like don't question what other people are eating.
Yeah.
It's not your place, and that's how you cause eating disorders in people. Or, that's how you cause disordered eating in people.
Oh, I feel like with what she's putting out there is just like, oh, if someone's, and I don't like to use this word, but fat, that's what she refers, heavy fat, whatever. I do not like to talk like that, but just kind of talking like how she is. All that they think about is food, and if you're not eating, they're going to say something because you should be eating. Come on. She's making that up.
That I don't believe that happened.
No.
At all.
It just, again, goes to show how her mind works, and it's a mean girl mentality, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, it's just delusional.
Yeah.
Of like healthy versus skinny.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. It's just this straight up like skinny is healthy, but it's not. I don't know.
Healthy and
the
skinny.
whole diet culture. What?
Healthy and skinny are two different things.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's body is different. We'll get into that because she tries to like sell her, if you want to call it courses, I don't know. And she's giving blanketed advice to all different types of body sizes, ages, walks of life. And it's like, but she's giving the same formula out for everyone. It's like, that's not how it works.
Yeah, it sounds like a B-dong kind of scenario where she made customized diet and exercise plans, but it was the same for everyone, even people who needed to be in maintenance, a deficit, or gain.
Yep.
This is blanket thing. Yeah. Yikes.
So this is just a picture, and but I'll read you something that I found, but basically she's going through, and I didn't put the screenshots in, but she is saying, here's like what I eat in a day, to stay skinny as someone who works a 9 to 5. And you can see the emojis that she uses: a pig, a whale, a cow, because that's how she refers to overweight people. Pig, cow. Like, that's...
There's no way that this picture isn't edited.
Right.
Look at how crooked her legs are. They're like wavy.
They're wavy, 100%. And so somebody actually broke down, I'm going to read just because I took some notes on this. Somebody broke down what she ate during this day. And so they broke down like a rough estimate of what the calories. Yeah, completely edited. That's not her legs. But so they said, here's like her what she eats in a day breakdown, which I guess I should say I found on the on Reddit. guess we have to shout that out, right? I did not find this on my own people.
Make sure you shout out which Reddit is it. But we got to censor the names.
Yeah, okay. Well, it was from Reddit, but someone did break it down. And so she had a Fairlife protein bar, a couple bites of bread, a couple bites of pasta, a couple bites of ice cream, and that's it. And so they basically tallied it up to being generous. That this is being generous, 800 calories that she ate. And this is kind of like how she eats. Considerably less than what a toddler is supposed to be eating calorie-wise.
That's not enough calories. And that's the thing too with this other creator is like the 800 calories are one thing. So at one point in time on Fridays, she would get a crumble cookie. Mm-hmm. And she literally said out loud, I have to eat the whole thing, which is 4 portions. Mm-hmm. Mind you, a crumble cookie is 4 portions.
Yeah.
I have to eat the whole thing in order to use all my points for today. Which means that, like, I can't even remember what it was, but it was 85% of her nutrition
from cookie.
Her intake was the crumble cookie.
And that's a thing whenever a lot of times you'll see with these type of influencers and they're talking specifically about calories. So something people say like, okay, well, Liv's right. Like it is about calories in, calories out. First off, it is and it isn't. Not for everyone. Everyone has different bodies. And like, I know people who have such a hard time losing weight and they can't calorie count because they have thyroid issues. And so it's completely different things or, so whatever. And also not to mention like, someone's calories, first off, should never be going under 1,000. I mean, not even close to 1,000, even trying to lose weight. That's so unhealthy, going to cause like a lot of issues. But what I think is better to focus on is like the overall nutrition. And if you're going to go and count anything, look into like macros and actual nutrition because, okay, yeah, let's just use let's use 800 calories, like what she's doing. Okay, well, you could eat a pack of Oreos, a slice of bread, and maybe
1 crumble cookie.
And get to that 800 calories. Okay, that's not nutrition. You know what I mean?
No.
That's not actual nutrition. You're not getting protein. You're not getting any of the like actual nutrients that you need, but you're still getting your calories. It's like, well, that's going to wreak havoc on your body.
Yeah, and something that a lot of people didn't realize when I did some of my original videos talking about this is your heart is a muscle and it works 24/7. Like 24/7. It never stops beating. If it does, you got a bigger problem on your hands. But your heart's a muscle, and if you're not giving it protein to repair itself, you're going to weaken your heart wall. So by starving your body, what's your body going to eat away at? Especially if you're a size 00 like Liv is with 0 fat on her body, because you could see, let's say that wasn't edited, her bones are sticking out, that is too skinny, that is fat wasting. The next thing is muscle wasting.
As well as a lot of other issues with hair and like...
Oh, everything else.
Everything.
Yes.
And it's I don't want to go and insinuate. Other people have insinuated that she has an ED. I don't know if we can say it or not without like, YouTube, whatever, but... The thing is, when you are, again, with someone like Liv, she's not just saying that she's in that you should only be in a deficit while for a period of weeks or months until you lose a little bit of weight and then you increase your calories. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to like
go into maintenance or whatever.
And then maybe go back to a deficit and then keep, go back and forth. And weight loss is not supposed to be this quick thing. Which sucks. No. It does. Like I would like to lose a few pounds too, and I'm working on it. But it's supposed to be a slow process because what happens if you're doing it that way, you're doing it the healthy way, and you're not going to go gain it all back. And she even like has things where it's like, right now what she's trying to promote is like 21-day, like diet plan for spring body or whatever. You aren't supposed 21 days, you're not going to get that. And she's putting out this false narrative. And what I'm trying to get at is basically like the way that she's going about things is so unhealthy, but people are buying into it who are like younger. And there are people who are like, moms and like older that are as well. But And they're like, I lost a pound overnight with you. And it's like, okay, it's water weight. You're starving your body. It's going to come back. And so the problem is that whenever she's encouraging people to, you know, be eating under 1,000 calories, like, okay, they're going to lose weight at first, but it's going to screw up their metabolism. If we're looking at like what she ate and she had a protein bars typically have between 15 and 25, you know, grams of protein. There's no other grams of protein throughout the rest of her day. So she's having, to be generous, under 30 grams of protein each day. What we are supposed to be having as women, like over 100 grams. Like, I'm not going to put out like advice and stuff, but I've looked into like a lot of this. Like, what I'm supposed to be eating right now, I think, is like 120 to 130 grams or something. Because I had like an actual professional person who does macros, like they've taken the courses, all these different things, and they act for like my individual body type. And it's gonna be different for everyone. But 30 grams of protein? No one is supposed to be just eating 30 grams of protein.
Yeah, so it says anywhere from 15 to 30 grams of protein at each meal. That's from the Mayo Clinic. So for a day. And again, your heart is a muscle. If you're not feeding your heart, it's going to get weaker. And that is a muscle that you don't want to get weaker.
And that's why, like, even like older women, like something that's really being encouraged to women of all ages, older, younger, is yes, getting the proper amount of protein. I've even heard like focus on like 30 grams per meal. Cause like if you do that, like you're setting yourself up for like a good rest of the day, for energy, for, you know, getting that nutrition in, but also like lifting weights. Like you don't have to be a bodybuilder because it's, you're building muscle, not to like have a bigger butt or anything like that, but it's to help for your longevity of your life. And so that you're not like needing a hip replacement or whenever you're 75 or 80, like there's actual things. It's not all about being a size 0 and looking like Victoria's Secret model. There's so much more to it. That's such a short-term thing. And I want to also add, Liv, I believe, is in her early 20s, has not had any kids. Your body also changes after you have kids. And I hate to even admit this, but whenever I was in like high school, I could essentially eat whatever I wanted. I would eat McDonald's all the time and never gain weight. I was always like on the thinner side. And I whenever I'd have like friends be like, oh, I really want to like lose weight. And I would never say it. I've never, because I would always think of okay, just like go on a diet. It's not that hard. I'm realizing like, oh, it actually isn't like as easy as what Liv's trying to say. Everyone's body is different. Everyone's walk of life is different. And like, my mindset has really, really, really changed over the years because I've experienced it. And sometimes you have to experience things to like fully understand. But I was never insensitive either. But yeah, like her whole thing is just only eat if you're hungry and don't eat like a cow.
I don't know. She just sounds interestingly awful.
Pretty much.
Cancel your membership to the All You Can Eat Club. Cancel your membership to the Clean Your Plate Club. Cancel that. We're not dogs. We don't need to clean our plate clean. Like, no, we don't need to do that. Okay. Just like how I said, you know, you're not a dog. Don't treat yourself with food. Like, don't just be like, okay, you did good today. Here, have a treat. No, same thing. You don't need to lick your bowl clean. You don't need to lick your plate clean. You're not a dog. End of the day. Point blank. Period.
What she means by that, she doesn't mean actually licking the plate. She means like you shouldn't be eating everything on your plate. Period. What she does is, and she'll show guys, it's really not that hard. Like, I eat what I want. If I want, you know, pasta or cake or whatever, like, I'll just have a couple bites. That's all you need. Can we not? That's a disordered way of eating, no matter how you want to slice it. And there are people saying like, oh, I love Liv. Like, she's so right. Portion control is out of control. And she talks a lot about like American portion sizes. And like, obviously, yeah, Americans were known to like supersize everything. And I get that. But you should be able to like have your regular plate of food and eat it without shame. And not feel guilty that you're eating it all because you're fueling your body. Food is fuel. It's not meant to be this thing where like, only eat if you're hungry. It's like, no, your body actually needs the nutrition, like to survive and to function day to day. Like you have to eat. It's not just like a fun thing to do.
And a certain amount of each macro, like you said, like it's not even just your body needs calories to survive. It needs fat and protein and minerals and vitamins and carbs. Like, it needs all of that.
The thing is, what she's not going to say, I'm not saying it's happening to her, but I've heard enough other influencers talk about how this has happened to them. They lose their menstrual cycle. That's a thing whenever you're not getting enough fat, like, which is going to affect your hormonal health, going to affect different things as women. And
then you wonder why you feel like crap all the time.
And you're tired,
that's why.
and you have don't have energy, or if your hair is breaking off and it's super brittle. I feel bad for these girls who just like, they just don't get it because they're young. They don't understand. Like they're being influenced. And to me, it is deep. This is actually a deep conversation because it's affecting young women, and what's going to happen. It's going to follow them for life. They're going to have disordered eating for life.
Unless they get help.
And like she'll make videos where it's like her birthday and she's like, I'm not going to go and like waste calories on cake. So what I do is I found this little place where it's like a cake bite for 85 calories. And that's basically all, because she's like, all you need is 2 bites. If you're having more than 2 bites, you're being gluttonous basically. And it's like, that's the problem too, is like anyone can go on social media and give out advice. And especially if they have a body that someone's desiring, they're going to take whatever they're saying without realizing like, oh, they have no idea what they're talking about. They're using their body to sell a certain thing. And that's what this Liv does, where she has, I guess on Instagram, you can like pay to be a part of their like private Instagram or something. I don't know. It's like $20 a month, and she has a big following of people. And it's, I guess, like super generic advice and like Pinterest quotes and like all these different great, like not worth it, but people pay for it. And
people pay for anything.
People will pay.
I don't understand.
I don't understand. I don't understand all, but it is sad. Like if you're going to be looking for advice online, just make sure you're getting it from someone who's actually like certified. And
that's just it. That's what upsets me to no end, is that there's so many people going to influencers for diet advice instead of a nutritionist who are also on Instagram, or going to influencers for OBGYN advice, for pregnancy advice, for labor and delivery advice. And it's like, go find an OB who has a TikTok or an Instagram. They are out there giving advice, safe, healthy advice. Like it doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't to me either. But I think what it is just, it's a lot of, it's probably not all younger people, but it probably is a lot of like younger people who just, I don't know, they just see someone, they want to be like that person, and so they just take it all. But, you know, again,
the parasocial,
and just with what Liv's doing, every body is different. Like, and if you're giving out the same advice to someone who is 6 foot tall, 230 pounds, however much weight, and then someone who's 5'1" and they're 119 pounds, someone who's 50, someone who's 19, someone who has health issues or thyroid issues or whatever, it's dangerous. You cannot give out the same advice to everyone. And you especially should not be giving out advice whenever you're eating under 800 calories a day.
And it's just perpetuating toxic and harmful beauty standards.
Which I thought we were kind of done with. I thought that like we left that 10, 20 years ago, but it really does seem to be back in full throttle. And we see that a lot in Hollywood whenever we see these celebrities now who are looking just skin and bones, and they're taking Ozempic, even though they'll deny it. But like there'll be certain celebrities who have always had more weight on them, and they've openly talked about like struggling on diets, and now all of a sudden they're skin and bones, but they're like, I just naturally lost it. I'm like, after 20 years you finally figured out, no, you're taking it, be honest about it. And that's another thing too, like with Ozempic, a lot of people are feeling bad because they can't afford it. Guys, it's like, that's not the best option either. Again,
also not necessarily healthy. Skinny isn't healthy.
Skinny is not healthy. We really need to be focusing on being healthy in a sense where it's like we are focusing less on how we look and more on how we feel. And and
being overweight is also not healthy, right? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that people should just eat whatever they want. They should just whatever. Because it's a spectrum. But if you're making good choices on the daily, keeping everything in mind, nutrition, holistic nutrition, and calories, you're not eating 8,000 calories a day, like you will feel better and you'll lose the weight.
And I think my thing too that I want to be the biggest takeaway, just something that I have learned, because who doesn't want the quick fix? If you want to lose weight, who doesn't want to lose weight in 21 days or a month or 3 months? Unfortunately, it takes longer, and we're not meant to kind of have these like quick little like let's lose 10 pounds in a week, whether that's through eating 800 calories or through Ozempic. It's going to catch up with you, because what happens whenever you actually start fueling your body how it's supposed to, you're going to gain all the weight back. What happens whenever you go off the Ozempic? You're going to gain all the weight back, plus a bunch of other health problems. Because we don't know enough about Ozempic. This was not what Ozempic was created for. And
No.
I just think people are wanting these like quick fixes. Unfortunately, that's not really how it works.
Oh, it's really sad and really scary.
Yeah. I'm trying to like really, especially because I have girls. I have 2 young girls, and I'm really trying to not focus on the term diet, for one. Not focus on good foods or bad foods, or, you know, I can't eat this cookie because it's on your birthday, or this piece of cake, you know, because I'm on a diet. I can't finish all my food because that would be glutton. Like, I'm trying to just be more mindful about how I approach it, for one. And 2, talk about foods more like what they're doing for you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Carrots are really good for vision. Like, you know, like giving them like that kind of thing, but also being like, yeah, you guys can also have that cookie. Like, I'm never going to, like, you know, like the almond moms that we are out there, never going to be me, ever. Because I think you can teach your kids that moderation, and that there is no such thing as good and bad and this and that. It comes down to moderation, and it comes down to fueling your body properly, not just restricting. And so then you go and binge on all those things that you're restricting. It's such a bad cycle, and I think that so many people fall prey to it, because it's easy to do, because restricting, again, which is clearly what Liv is promoting as a restrictive lifestyle.
100%.
That is only a short-term fix. It's not a long-term solution whatsoever.
And it's not healthy.
No.
Even short-term, it's not healthy.
No.
So
it's, like I said, that type of diet, you're going to lose your menstrual cycle. You could have problems down the road. And also, like, you don't have to go to bed hungry to lose weight. Like, you can go to bed satisfied. You don't need to go and fill yourself. Like, yeah, obviously, like, if you're in a deficit, you're not eating as many calories as maybe like you were used to. But you don't need to go to bed starving either. There is an in-between there.
Yeah, there definitely is. And also, what about the people who can't keep up with the 800 calorie a day and then feel like failures because they went over 800 calories, because it's not realistic to only consume 800 calories in a day.
No.
So it's like there are so many layers of mental health that go along with body image, and then to promote dangerous rhetoric like this,
it's wrong.
It's terrifying.
It's wrong, and I'm glad she was banned off of TikTok, but she still is very popular on Instagram, YouTube, and famous for being famous type of thing. Like, there's no real talent there. She's not giving any actual health advice. She's not certified. No. She doesn't have any sort of education on any of this. It's just she has the type of body that a lot of girls right now want. To me, it wouldn't be worth it, you know, like to go and like starve myself, but
she probably feels like crap.
That's just it. But she's
like,
not going to say
physically feels, no, of course not, because she looks good.
Yeah.
And it's like, but your bones are also sticking out.
Right.
Like, that's not necessarily good looking.
No.
Because it's not natural.
No, it's not natural. And that's the thing, like, that seems to be a new beauty standard, is like the bones sticking out. And that's like what people are aspiring to. Our bones aren't meant to be sticking out. And everyone's obviously body is different. But in general, like, we're not meant to be skin and bone. Like, we're not meant to be 0% body fat, you know?
No, exactly. And even when you see, because my best friend was always really slim growing up, and even her, and I think back on her, and she's just a naturally small person. Yes. She didn't have bones sticking out, though. She still had a layer of healthy fat coating her body, but she was rail thin. Right. And I think that there's a big difference. And that's what, that's when I learned about more so fat wasting versus muscle wasting. And that's just not healthy. Our bodies need it.
Which is literally what Ozempic is doing, is muscle deteriorating, is what they're saying. Deterioration.
Yeah, I haven't looked into it at all, but I believe it.
I guess that's what it's doing. And so what people are...
What is it?
I believe it's a shot, and it just really
No, but like, what kind of drug is it?
I don't know, but I just know it suppresses the appetite quite a bit.
It's an appetite suppressant.
Well, it's meant for diabetics. I know someone in my own life who recently I was talking with, and she was like, I feel bad about myself because one of my friends is on Ozempic and she's losing a ton of weight all of a sudden, like a ton. But I just know that it's not good for you. And so like, she's like, I want to lose weight, but I don't want to do it this way. And it's like, good for you. You shouldn't want to do it that way. Like, I'm not trying to shame. Here's the thing. Like, if you're going to do Ozempic, and this is like coming from someone who like, again, I follow, who has taken courses and stuff. She's like, I'm not going to go and rule out Ozempic. She's like, but what you need to be doing is doing it safely with a nutritionist, with someone who does the macros, because in order for you to safely wean off of it without gaining the weight, without losing your muscles, basically like it could be helpful for some people if they have like a ton of weight to kind of give it that like jump start, but there's a certain way to do it. You know, it's not just like blindly go into it. There is a certain healthy, safe way to go about it where you can get better results long term.
Yeah, well, it says that it mimics the hormone to regulate blood sugar, but it slows the digestion. Oh my gosh. Slows the digestion of food, reduces the amount of sugar made by the liver, and reduces appetite. So it makes sense that if it's slowing digestion and stuff, you're going to be more full for longer. Mm-hmm. But again, like your friend was saying, if you're not fueling your body with actual nutrition and nutritious food, then you're going to die.
100%. And like what you said, it's not saying eat whatever you want, whatever. It's let's work on like as a society, just like eating more of like a whole foods type of diet where you're getting all the different food groups, nutrition, but again, not labeling something as good or bad, because I think whenever you don't look at something as off limits, it makes it like less tempting. You know what I mean? And it's it's going to take time to like fully get into that mindset. I'm not an expert, but I just feel like that is probably better long term. Like, again, I'd love to drop 10 pounds overnight or in a week, but I know it's not realistic and it's going to take time and effort. But again, it's going to be better for me in the long term.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. We're in a really scary spot with this kind of influencing right now. And like you said, we have daughters on social media. Well, my youngest isn't, but my eldest is. And
also, I mean, this could be another topic too, but like it's also young boys who are being influenced by these guys who are on steroids. And that's not good either. It's a different type of body
dysmorphia,
right? That's being created with these young men, and
it is.
So I don't know. It got me fired up seeing that stuff, because I know enough, but I know that's not the case for everyone, and it makes me sad to think that someone feels bad about themselves and they're going to beat themselves up for eating a plate of food fueling their body. You know?
Exactly. And it's just not okay. And it's not okay because influencers have influence over people, and it's not okay to influence people to do stuff that can harm them.
100%. And my last takeaway that I'd want to kind of put out there is our bodies should be the least important parts about ourselves. Like literally.
Yes.
The thing is, like with Liv, okay, maybe she's body goals for a lot of people. Is she compassionate? Is she nice? Is she like a generous, giving person? I don't know, because her whole personality is about being skinny. Like she literally labels everything as skinny activities and that. Again, our bodies are the least important things about us. Yes, we should be fueling it and taking care of ourselves, but literally there's so much more to life than fitting into size 0 jeans. So much more.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I agree.
I just know, especially after having kids, I don't need to be the size I was as a teenager. You know what I mean? Like my body's different now. I've had 2 children. I don't need to be the size of a teenager anymore. Again, I would like to lose some weight, and I'm working on it. But I know that my body likely is never going to get back to that point, and that is okay.
Yeah, it is okay because it's aging, it's maturing, it's growing, right?
Yeah.
Presumably your husband isn't attracted to teenagers. Right? So it's like get better men or women to date. If they are judging you based on your body or criticizing you or saying like you had kids and whatever, that is not the person that you should have in your corner. Because no, it's not realistic and it's sad.
It's sad. And the thing is like,
and it makes you miserable.
It does. And I've never really had any issues with myself personally until social media came around. And it's not like I have massive issues by any means, but I can see how young people would have a lot of body image issues because I'm like, I never cared about certain things. Like I've talked about my forehead wrinkles before.
Yeah.
Like I didn't notice it till more recently, but I feel like if social media wasn't around, I wouldn't think twice about it.
But further, if social media wasn't around and Botox and filler wasn't heavily promoted, it's not necessarily social media that's the problem. It's the fact that again, the toxic beauty standards of women aren't allowed to age for some godforsaken reason.
It goes back to men and women there's different standards for men and women. Men, they age like fine wine. George Clooney's looking better. Kevin Costner, he's 70, he's looking better than ever. A woman gets a wrinkle or a gray hair and it's a story. It's a tabloid story. Like, it's such a double standard. And I'm so sick of it.
It is such a double standard. And like, God forbid your boobs look different after you breastfeed, or your hips look different after you birth a child. Like, oh my God, it's the end of the world.
Meanwhile, all these, not all, but so many influencers, what we're seeing, they have the fake chest, the fake butt, like all these different things that like we as the average person have no idea because like they're going to these med spas, you know, getting like injections and all these different things. So it's such an unrealistic, like you said, standard of beauty. But like I said, I can see how young women would have a lot of body dysmorphia and things because of this unrealistic standard that's out there. And I never, like I said, really had it before, but there are certain things where I'm like, I might feel a little bit more bad about myself than if it wasn't out there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
But luckily, I'm in my 30s and I just get over it real quick. But I just feel for like...
Yeah, exactly.
I feel for the teenagers. I feel for like my daughters someday having to like see this kind of stuff. That's what really, you know, breaks my heart.
Yeah. But I think that having a solid support system at home just will mitigate a lot of that stuff. They'll still go through it. But I think having a mom to lean on and be like, listen, I'm feeling this way. And you being there being like, okay, well, it's probably social media, right? Let's talk about it. Everything's okay. Like, you're perfect.
Yeah.
Because they are, you know. I think that just... And educating.
Education is a big one, yeah, and support. And I feel like I've been starting to see like more positive things with social media. Or just even, this is kind of not about a woman, but do you know who Dick Van Dyke is? From like Mary Poppins or whatever?
Yeah.
He is like 99 now. And there was this video of where the Coldplay singer was like at his house and he was singing to him. And Dick's family, like one by one started coming in. And at the end of the video, like he has this massive group of family who's there. And it was so sweet. And I'm like, gosh, what? Oh, that's what we need to focus on is like our long-term legacy that we're leaving. Like the friendships, the family, like the type of parents and spouses and all these, like, let's focus more on that because whenever you're 70, I don't care what you do, you're not going to look like what you were whenever you're 20. It's such a short-lived thing.
And imagine how silly looking these people are going to look when they're 70 and their face is going to like, I can see literally like jowls on people after this Botox era and filler and everything, like, because you're just going to be deflated, especially the ones that inject themselves so much that they look swollen.
Yeah.
Those people are going to look silly when they're older.
Again, we just need to make it okay for women to age gracefully. I look at someone like Dolly Parton. Love her. She's a really great I cannot say the word.
Philanthropist.
Yes, sorry.
It's a th in the middle. Philanthropist.
I like my brain.
We got there.
It's getting late, but
yeah, we shut off. We're done.
Right. But she
Brains are
super
done.
talented, but like she's not letting herself age gracefully. She's like trying to still dress and look like she did 40 years ago, but it's like, Dolly, like, you're amazing. Like, just let yourself be.
You're queen.
Yeah. Just
be a queen.
Yeah, but so I'm curious whenever like we get to be that age, how some of these people are looking because they're injecting themselves at like 19.
Listen, when I'm 70 and watching these people deflate, I'm going to talk about it on YouTube. I'm promising now.
But we're
70-year-old Sasha being like, I told you so.
But we're gonna look better because we're not getting all that stuff. Like, we're gonna actually look like normal, and they're gonna look like alien experiments gone wrong, because we don't know. This stuff is also new still. We don't know the long term how it looks and affects our bodies.
And Botox has muscle wasting. That's one of the long term effects of Botox. And I know it's small amounts and stuff, but like, your face is gonna sag and you're not gonna be able to move it because you're not gonna have any more muscles left.
Well, small amounts every 6 months from the time you're 19 to the time you're 80.
And it's so expensive.
So expensive.
Maybe it's because I'm broke, so I'm not in that class of people, but I can't, even when I have money.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine spending $200, $400, $600 every couple months on Botox.
No, it's like, I hate going to the hair salon because I don't want to sit there for hours on end. It's the same thing. I'd be like, oh, another appointment. I'm not going. I'm skipping.
Yo, same.
Yeah.
Hard same. It's too much commitment. Like, I don't have time for that shit, man.
I don't have that much time for that. But yeah, no, it's probably a longer episode. But I think it's, again, both topics kind of tied into each other and they're important. I have so many opinions and things to say, but that's kind of just, I guess, where I'll leave it on my end, because important stuff, and it can be a sensitive subject, but
It can be.
you know, let's leave it to the experts.
Yeah, let's start getting advice from people who know what they're talking about. And even at that, I try my best and stuff to show up well researched and well versed in whatever I'm doing, mainly on my main channel, right, where I'm providing that kind of education. But I do my best, and you can tell when someone shows up and they're researched because they bring the receipts and they have the knowledge. You can tell, right? And with influencers like this, it's like they're just saying whatever, or they're just doing something and it's working, so they start promoting it. And it's like, but there's no evidence that this works or that it's healthy or that it's going to work for the next person.
It's a quick cash grab, and like you said with Brittany Dawn, she did that. It didn't work out so well for her, and
it did not.
There's a lot of people who do that in the social media space, where they just like quickly put out some half-ass project they put together and go and sell it for $50, and they make their money and move on with their lives. Meanwhile, we don't know the actual what they're setting up that person with, you know, like lifelong issues. They don't care. They got their money and they're gone.
Exactly. It's all about money. They literally don't care. They don't care about you.
No.
We care about you. We do. Which is why we're doing this.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it's BS and it needs to be called out. But like these people, they don't care about you.
I'm like actually passionate about it. Like it does make me mad. And that's why I do. Like, we actually do care. We're not just like on here, just like, I don't even call this gossiping, honestly. Like, this is literally just like a conversation that needs to be happening more, especially between like two regular women. We're not like trying to sell you guys anything. Like, we're like in the real world. We're not in this crazy social media dystopian land.
No, we're not influencers.
No, not at all.
I don't want to be an influencer.
Gosh, no.
Screw that.
No.
They suck.
Someone, I think in one of my comments, accused me of like, I'm doing this because I am an influencer. I want to be. I'm like, no, no. Sorry, no. Never.
I don't. All of them suck. I've yet to meet a good influencer. I've met some pretty banger content creators, but influencers who just exist to sell shit and talk about their coffee that they drink every day.
Right.
Yeah.
They just like affiliate. Here, check my link, my like to know or whatever. Link to know or whatever.
My link.
There's
link in bio.
Yeah. Link in bio or sponsored. Like, yeah, no, you're right. There's a difference between an influencer and a content creator. Completely different people. Categories.
And I will die on that hill. And you guys can come for me in the comments and say there's no difference, but there is.
I don't think people are going to say it here, though. I feel like, honestly, the people who watch this, like, I was in the live chat last week. You guys like get it. Like, I feel like it was fun, and like it's people who are more open-minded and like, yeah, no, this is great. This is BS, you know?
Yeah, it is.
I feel like it's a good group we're getting together here.
We are. We're building a crew.
Yes. It's fun.
But I think that's all we got. So thank you for joining us today, and we'll talk to you next week.
See ya.